Hello students, welcome to class. Today I'm going to discuss on a lesson called Footprints Without Feet by H.G. Wells. Now H.G. Wells is a very famous writer. He's a fiction writer. He wrote many interesting short stories and great novels. Some of them are The Invisible Man and The Time Machine, and both these novels were made into movies, very popular movies. So these stories about a scientist who made a potion for becoming invisible. He was indeed a very intelligent scientist to have done that invention. But we have to find out what he did with the invention in the story. So let's move on with the story. The title of your book and the title of the story is kept the same, Footprints Without Feet. Now, what is footprints without feet? The footprints occur without any feet. Now, this strange phenomenon is experienced in the story at the beginning by two little boys near a marketplace. The two young boys were very puzzled. They kept following the footprints for quite some time, but they lost track of it because the footprints, had mud, and this mud got, fainter and fainter as it were of the feet, and later this totally disappeared. But the mystery to it, we all know, I talked about Griffin, the scientist who discovered a magical potion, something that can make the body transparent. No doubt the two little boys were bewildered, so anyone would have been in their place. Now we all know it was Griffin who had done it. Griffin who discovered a magical potion or some drugs, that can make one invisible. He swallowed all the drugs, he took it, and he became as invisible as ever. But he became solid as a rock. As glass, transparent. Griffin, though a very intelligent scientist, but he was a lawless person. He had, respect for law. He was against the law. He was a lawbreaker. And it so happened that Griffin, who was staying in a house, his landlord always wanted him out of the house, and in order to take revenge, he totally burnt away the house and then escaped, swallowing these invisible drugs. And the clothes that he was wearing to get himself invisible, he took them off and ran into the streets, totally nude. And it was in the cold winter days in London, and it was not possible to be without clothes in the winter days there out in the open. And Griffin happened to step into some mud, and so that's how the footprints occurred. And as the mud wore off his feet, the little boys could not find him as they followed the invisible footprints. Now Griffin, as he was nude, he wanted to have some warmth and some clothes to wear, and he was without any money, without anything, because he ran away from the house that he has burnt. And so he decided to enter a big store, supermarket, and so thus there he enters, and there he enjoys himself, entertaining him with free food, with free clothes. And at the end, after all these, he becomes tired and he goes to sleep there. And in the morning, when he wakes up, he sees people there, the workers who enter one by one. They find this stranger there, and Griffin rushes out of the supermarket, and the same thing happens. He removes his clothes one by one and suddenly becomes invisible, and there he's out again in the open, totally nude in the winter of London, that is so chilling and so cold that one cannot bear it. It's bitter cold. So do you think the adventures of Griffin ends up here? There is more to come, and let's move on. Now, as he finds himself in the open, in the chill January air of London, he decided to try the stock of a theatrical company in the hope of finding not only clothes but also something that would hide the empty space above his shoulders. Shivering with cold, he hurried to Drury Lane, the center of the theater ward, where he could solve his problem of not only covering his body but also get hold of something that he can call a face. So no longer he would be an invisible man. So there in Drury Lane, he entered a shop. He soon found a suitable shop. He made his way invisible upstairs and came out a little later wearing bandages round his forehead, dark glasses, false nose, big bushy side whiskers, and a large hat. To escape without being seen, he callously attacked the shopkeeper from behind, after which he robbed him of all the money he could find. So finally, this invisible scientist became a robber. He attacked the shopkeeper, even, got hold of the money there. So it was too much. You can see what a lawbreaker Mr. Griffin was. And let's see how he finally looked. So Griffin decided to go to an inn, and when he landed in the inn, it was quite obvious that it's winter and it's unusually very strange to have visitors during the winter. But then, when they saw Griffin, a very unusual and strange looking man, Mrs. Hall, the landlady, tried to ask questions. But Griffin tried to remain quiet and he did not want to answer any questions, and in fact told the lady, paid her in advance and told that he wanted some privacy, and he also had informed that he had gone through some kind of accident, so he wanted to be left alone as he had come here only for some work. And he mentioned to her that he was some kind of a scientist also. And Mrs. Hall was, she was happy because she got the entire sum in advance. And but then, slowly what happened? Griffin had, all the money that he had with him was over, and finally he had to, somehow keep them off, the landlord and the landlady, by telling them that there would be a check in his name coming very soon. And mysteriously during that time, a clergyman and his wife, woke up very early in the morning to hear some sounds, and they heard the chink of coins in their study. And when the old man, the clergyman, who is a priest, clergyman means a priest, he took his walking stick and he tried to, warn and shout, "Who is there?" And then he did not see anyone. And again, mysteriously, the same day in the morning, Mrs. Hall and her husband found that Griffin's room was wide open, door was wide open, which was quite unusual again, because Griffin did not want anyone to enter his room, and that was very suspicious. And they thought that it was a very good opportunity for them to sneak into the room and investigate in their own way. Mr. and Mrs. Hall, when they entered Griffin's room, they found the bedclothes were quite cold, proving that Griffin did not sleep on his bed for quite some time. He was away from the room. And they also saw the hat, the bandages, everything there in the room. It was quite strange that he went out without them. After some time, when Mr. and Mrs. were in the investigating mood, they could hear the sniffing sound, like this kind of a sound near her ear. And when she turned around to, she found the hat that was there on the bedpost flung on her face. Then came the chair that flung at her. And they ran out of the room and they shouted and ran out, and they informed that there is some kind of ghost in their room. The neighbors thought that it was some kind of witchcraft, and the scientist who was there might have done so. They locked the room, And then again, the news of the clergyman whose money was stolen again was doubted by Mr. and Mrs. Hall, because after some time Griffin came, and who had no money and cash with him, offered them money. And this was what made them more suspicious about him. They informed the Cope, the policeman, to come over and arrest Griffin. And Griffin, when Griffin entered the room suddenly, the locked room, and then the room was suddenly, she opened the room and she asked that, how come that you entered the room and came out the room just like that? Mrs. Hall wanted to know. Griffin was generally of a very furious and impatient in nature. He got very angry and he said, "Do you want me to know?" And he started opening his bandages and all one by one. It was very shocking that Griffin was there. And when the policeman came, the people, neighbor, everything, a hue and cry there, they found a headless man in front of them. Whereas the policeman, he had to arrest him because he had a warrant, whether with a head or or without a head. And then, as Griffin, his trick was to that remove his clothes one by one, and lo and behold, you'll become, invisible. And during that time, some people got some good punches there in their face without knowing who was doing that. This part is very hilarious and very interesting, and it's very comical. But the most interesting part about the scientist who had used these invisible drugs for not for a good use. You can adjust the lesson and just tell me, is it really good to invent something and make it popular by doing something good or by doing something bad? So we'll discuss about it in the next Zoom class. So read the lesson and try to be ready for the next class. Thank you.